Good afternoon, I'm Denise Tan, and this is One News Now. President Bongbong Marcos says the relationship between Philippines and China seems to be heading in a poor direction. Speaking to the media during his trip to Japan, Marcos pointed out that traditional diplomatic moves such as sending notes verbal have made very little progress. The chief executive added a government has to come up with a new idea to turn Manila and Beijing's relations the other way. Still, President Marcos said his administration will continue to engage in dialogue with allied nations to prevent the escalation of tensions in the West Philippine Sea. Meanwhile, an international studies analyst believes that Marcos is trying not to give in to the fear of Chinese narratives. Speaking to the big story, Renato de Castro described the current approach of government in addressing the West Philippine Sea issue as risk-averse.
Probably the president would like to take calculated risk. So we move away from that paradigm of trying to avoid, taking risks and at the same time always falling into the Chinese trap. That if we take a decisive action, we're generating tension.
In other news, Vatican's landmark ruling that authorizes priests to bless same-sex couples are garnering mixed reactions. Priests can now bless non-heterosexual partners as long as such is not part of regular church rituals or liturgies. LGBTQ+ group Bahaghari welcomes the news, describing it as a positive development. However, it noted that most of the issues being faced by LGBTQ+ couples in the Philippines are economic. The group said the bigger fight is for equal rights and protection for the community in the eyes of the law.
While we accept and we see this as a positive development, sa totoong buhay, hindi talaga ang simbahan ang hinihingan namin ng karapatan. It's the duty bearers, the government itself, na tinatry nating i-engage. Whether that's in the form of a civil unions bill or amending the Constitution to allow for marriage equality.
But for House Human Rights Committee Chairman Benny Abante, this is unacceptable. He likened the Vatican's recent declaration to opening a Pandora's box. Congressman Abante also doubts that Filipinos will ever be ready for same-sex marriage.
You're opening the Pandora's box of everything when before it was not actually accepted. Sa amin, syempre, that is actually not acceptable to us because divine truth tells us that it's against God's law.
Meanwhile, the Archdiocese of Lingayen-Dagupan clarified that the blessing is one of mercy and not a sanctification. It noted that Catholic priests cannot ask God to bless something that is, quote, not conform to God's will. Around 300 families in Tondo, Manila lost their homes to a massive fire last night. The blaze on Kapulong Street started past 9 on Tuesday evening and reached fifth alarm by 11 p.m. It reached up to the second floors of houses. Up to 100 homes and around 300 families were affected by the fire. The victims are left devastated over the loss of their houses, belongings, and some pets, especially with Christmas just around the corner. Some of the victims believe the fire started from unattended cooking in one of the houses. Fire out was declared at 2 in the morning. The Bureau of Fire Protection is still investigating the cause of the blaze.
Inalam lang nila kung sino yung kaninong bahay yon, so alamin pa talaga nila kung yun talaga yung pinagmulan. Kaya paalala talaga po, alam naman po natin magpapasko. Ito hindi talaga po, wala po talagang masaya pag nasusunugan.
Time to take a quick break. One News Now will be back with more stories after that. Stay with us. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Denise Tan. More passengers and vehicles are hitting the roads at the peak of the holiday season. 5 days before Christmas, there's steady arrival of passengers at the bus terminal in Cubao. Trips going to provinces in Central Luzon are mostly in this Quezon City terminal. Bus dispatchers are expecting an exodus of commuters starting Friday, December 22, prior to the long Christmas weekend. December 25 and 26, or Monday and Tuesday, are both non-working holidays. The number of buses at the Cubao terminal is not expected to drop since management has secured special permits for additional units from the LTFRB. Over at the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange, or PTEX, an influx of commuters is also expected. These are those bound for Bicol, parts of Cavite, and Batangas. The PTEX management have seen an above normal number of passengers the past few days and are anticipating more come Friday. Just yesterday, passenger count reached over 116,000. Meanwhile, airports are projecting a 7 to 10% increase in travelers for the Christmas and New Year holidays. The Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines said that they are seeing over 2.2 million passengers this month, higher than the same period last year. CAAP also noted that there are more local tourists now. Help desks are available in airports to assist passengers. It's the season for travel and shopping. One money expert says it's okay to spend, but don't forget to save as well. Social Enterprise Development Partnerships President Vince Rapisura advises workers to put half of their 13th month pay and bonuses in savings and investments. Money set aside could go to an emergency fund, which about 85% of Filipinos do not have. Another tip is to put extra funds in digital and rural banks or cooperatives, which can also help boost local economies.
For example, kumikita ka ng meron kang meron kang Christmas bonus na 20,000 pesos. Tapos meron kang 20 plus 20, 40, kalahati nun, 20,000. Yan yung budget mo para sa celebration. Tapos yung kalahati naman para sa savings and investments. Tapos i-divide mo na yan by 12 para monthly mo. Ang Christmas at New Year, 2 araw lang yan sa 365 days. Ipa-prioritize natin yung mga pangangailangan natin. Ang goal natin, maging masaya buong taon, hindi lang tuwing Pasko at Bagong Taon.
One News Now will be back at 3:15 p.m. Join us again later. I'm Denise Tan. We are One News.